What is up, everybody? My name is Griffin, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Redstone Craft. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're back and we're finally gonna make our storage system. I'm hyped. But this might just be the biggest undertaking I have ever done on this channel, because I'm not building a regular storage system. No, that would be too easy and probably too big. I tried. I had 3 levels, so up there, down here, and down below, and it still didn't fit all the items. Yeah, there were a lot of items. So instead of making a chest per item sort of storage system like I have in the past, if you've ever watched any of my series or you watched me make storage systems on A-Gamer's channel and all that, I decided we're going for a multi-item storage system. Now this isn't easy. In fact, it's gonna be one of the hardest projects I've ever done, because there are 2 schools of thought in multi-item storage systems in Minecraft. You have the ones where you have to reserve slots, so every slot of every chest has to be filled with something, otherwise the system breaks. And there are those who have no reservations and have a bunch of redstone behind them. And honestly, I don't like the idea of the reserved slots, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I've never made a multi-item store. It doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound like a good thing. It makes me quickly grabbing and taking items be a pain in the ass, and it's just something that I don't want to do. So I went on the internet and I searched and searched and searched, and I found a couple designs. Now some are really redstone heavy, and they would not be a good implementation for spaces like this, where I need to be able to tile them and to flip them so they're not directional. And they legitimately cannot take more than one single space. So I looked and I looked and I looked, and I encountered Impulse SV's video where he built his own multi-storage item sorter. And I went to the source. It's by a YouTuber called Myzuma Games, and I will link down his video down in the description below, but I'll get to the tutorial in a second. And his design is actually really good, because it's not too redstone heavy. I mean, it is redstone heavy. It's still going to be way too heavy for me to time-lapse it, for example. But I think we should pop in the world before we do anything else, just so you guys can get a view for it. So let's pop into the creative world really quick so you guys can check out the system. Okay guys, so we're here in the world, and I'm gonna leave this world download down in the description below if you guys want to look at it. I'll also leave, these are, actually I'm gonna leave a couple links. I am going to leave the original sorter, so the one where he did a tutorial, and I'm going to leave the 1.16 fix. And the reason for that is that he actually had to apply a fix relating to target blocks in this version. And yeah, you can see it uses target blocks. So I'm going to leave both of them down in the description so you guys can check it out. And I'll also leave the link to the world download if you guys want to download it. Now, piece of advice, read all of these, open to survive, read this, read all the signs, legitimately read everything. It is useful and it is going to be important. So don't skip on reading. It's not a good idea for anyone. You're not going to enjoy it. Especially because I'm not going to teach you how to build this. On what is a break of tradition, I am not going to teach you how to build this item sorter. The reason for it is that this is a very complex item sorter, and it is redstone far beyond my capacity. In fact, the person who designed this, he himself, I watched both of his videos, and he was like, a piece of redstone somewhere in here. He was like, oh, I don't know why this works, but it does. And that sort of embodies how I feel about this contraption. I mean, I'm sure he knows how almost everything works. That was just a little system, but my point is this is very complicated redstone. I'm going to do an overview of it, but you guys should definitely check out his video. So let's actually get started. Now, he has 2 versions. I am going to look at this one. Screw it. You can see he has different categories, for example, ores, iron, gilded blackstone, whatever. And he also includes those lamps up there. Sorry, my hand was elsewhere. Those lamps up there, we're not going to include that, but you can. And this is where you drop stuff. So, for example, if I got some iron blocks, which I know can go into the system. You can put that there, then you'd send this, and the minecart's going to come up here. It's going to unload at double speed, and then this minecart is going to fill up. And apparently it only fills up to that much. And off it went. So this is a bit of a complicated explanation, but I'm going to try to explain how I think this system works. So you load the items, right? It's going to unload here into this chest, and then this hopper minecart is going to grab whatever item. Why do I feel like... Wait, where the hell did you get your... I am so confused. Sure. And how in the world? So it's obviously filtering non-stackable items into here, right? Yep. And then it's gonna drop, it's gonna pick it up, and it's gonna go through here. Is that what happened? Yeah, so I guess these are the filters, right? I think he's using fireworks as filters. I should check. Yes, he is. Okay, so this is how it works. You put your stuff in the minecart, it comes up here, it unloads, it goes into this minecart right here, and then it's only going to take one item type. So if it's an unstackable item, it will only take one of those. If it is a stackable item, it will only take one type. So as you saw there, it was iron blocks. And then what it's going to do is it's going to go off in this direction, and then these systems right here, it's actually going to go up first. Confusion. How do you get up here? Or apparently not. Does it actually go through down below? It does. Oh, right. This is how it does. It's going to go through all of these, and if it can pick one of these up, and these chests do need, like, you do need to reserve, I guess, so it is a reserve style thing, but you don't need to reserve in the end chests, which is the point. This is more of the sorter part. You would always need some items, regardless, but yeah. You can see there's a lot of fillers, and there's some music discs. I think the music discs are a part of a fix for 1 point something, or maybe it's for stuff that only stacks up to 16. No, but all of these stack up to 64. I don't know why the music discs are here for. It's just because it's the first chest. Might be just because this is the first chest. Anyway, you can see it's going to go through here, and it's going to catch an item. So for example, if I put redstone, this redstone dust is going to get collected. And then this is going to power... see this? This is going to unpower this, which is going to unpower this, which is going to unlock this hopper, which means that when it comes back, so it's going to go all the way around, whatever, and when it comes back, it's going to deposit the item back up here. And that means this is going to be activated, which means this dropper is going to go down. Where are you getting? All right, activator rail. Duh. Of course. Yep. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, which means this is going to get unpowered, which means this hopper is going to be released, which means items can go and get deposited. If that sounded like a mess, it's because it is a mess. It's not my fault. The system's complicated. I'm trying. And what happens here is, as you saw, the minecart will go make its way around, and then it comes up here. It's going to unload the items, including the water bottles. And then I assume this system here is what determines where stuff goes. Because this hopper sounds like it's locked. Yeah. Maybe if whenever the minecart goes under a specific thing, or oh, it's when that goes over it. That's what it is. Yeah, so it's going to give the water, is going to come back here, and it's going to be deposited, and it also seems to have this here just to remove any extra filters that it might catch. So I guess that's a bug fix, sorta. And what it does is, with the unstackable items, if it finds any, it's obviously going to unload them, and they're going to end up... where are they ending up? And confusion, they end up here, down here, so that includes shulkers, of course, which means they need to be coming from somewhere, because the items don't appear out of the blue. Right? Right. Ah, they immediately get taken here. Curious. Oh, I guess if you only put one item. Right, so I guess you can't store a single item. So like if I put a single stone, it won't work. What it's going to do is whatever the first item it is. So if I put 12 redstone, for example, it's going to activate this. So the first redstone is always going to go down here. And I assume if it's... Yeah, so if this is probably a counter. So if it's an unstackable item, it's going to drop it. If it's not, it's going to power it up and bring it back up here to be then stored. So yeah, this is a very complicated system. If you can't tell, I'm already like half baffled by this. He also... Wait, what's this? Item disposal room. Smart. So I guess... I actually don't know. Oh, if stuff like it isn't sorted for some reason, it's just going to come into here. That makes sense. Item pulls a few items from the hoppers. Okay. Unsorted items. Yeah, I get it. And, you know, the unstackable items come back here. So, of course, we're going to leave both the unsorted and unstackable into chests. Although there should be no unsorted. There will be unstackable, obviously. Now, if you're wondering what this is basically the same circuit with a small difference. It actually has a minecart load, it has a chest and a minecart loader beneath it, and it has a return filter for unstackable items. It just returns them back to here. So yeah, this is just, you know, a bit of a cleaner version. This lamp is on, what item will not be loaded into the system. Okay. So yeah, and of course this is the same system. This up here, I believe, is for the lamps. Though I'm not too sure what this is for. Let us follow. So it powers this. I'm not sure what this is for. Maybe it's a garbage or like assist. It means there are like leftover items or something. But yeah. This is a very complicated redstone system, guys. I genuinely believe you should just go look at the tutorial if you actually want to build this. I won't even bother. He also mentioned, like, we could, if we like our lives to be hell, we could do this, since this technically speeds up minecarts. I actually found this explanation to be quite nice, so let's... You can see it's gonna, like, speed it up significantly. But I'm not doing this, obviously, because this sounds and feels like a pain in the ass. He legitimately writes, no pain, no gain. No curve, no problem. Yeah, no curve, no problem. I prefer that. Bugging rails like this is not only annoying to do, but it's very prone to issues and will likely not even work on a server running Spigot. So, you know, let's not try that. But yeah. With this rant out of the way, it's time to pop into Redstonecraft and get stuff ready. And I'm going to explain how we're doing this, and what we're doing, and what I'm time-lapsing, and what I'm not time-lapsing, and all that beauty. So let's get this party rolling. Okay, so as you guys saw, that is a very complicated system to do and to mess with, so I decided I'm not going to time-lapse this. Instead, I'm going to offer you small updates as we go. And here's the plan. First, we need to prep this area, and we're going to need to place the chest down and all that. We're also going to need to probably dig a bit further into the wall here to make space. So that's going to be prep stage. And of course, placing the chest and all that. Then stage 2 is that side, right here. Make the unloader chest right here that then goes into the system. And make all that circuitry that is needed. And then stage 3 is actually making the sorters, like the individual sorters all around. Then stage 4 is reconnecting and testing and praying for a little bit of luck. And in stage 5 is celebrating, because of course. So hopefully in those 5 stages we can get this built and operational. So I'll be back when stage 1 is actually complete. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see behind me, I have made the preparations for the system. Since I can't do too many curves, I think it would bug off the system, especially the redstone. I decided to open up more space and pull it backwards, and thankfully I have unlimited iron, basically. It's not basically, it is unlimited. That iron farm produces so much iron. So, you know, thankfully, hoppers aren't an issue for me, so I have a lot of hoppers here, and this are not all the hoppers we're going to need. But yeah, preparations are done. Off to start building the actual redstone, because this part is going to be fun. It's not, it's going to be a pain, yes. But we'll be right back regardless. Okay, guys, so we're getting there nice and slowly. So if I actually come all the way back here, you can see I did it. It is done. Our redstone is in. The system is fully functional. And to be honest, it took a while. It took a while. Like, the modules, so what I'm calling modules is like a single strip of this. So like a single line of these really makes a lot of sense to me right now, and I understand what it does at this point in time. So honestly, replicating it was really easy, mostly because it's literally just copy pasting and nothing changes in the modules. What was hard was this. Everything you see in pink, green, and I think there's yellow over there. Yeah, yellow. This was hard because this is the part that still doesn't make sense in my mind. I don't understand this pink here is the loading and unloading. So obviously that part is just a minecart loader, and then it comes in here and it unloads. So the pink, I know what it does, but I sort of want to get up there, but flying in here is really not that easy. Okay, there you go. But then you have the magenta is just the minecart coming in. So, you know, this is an unloader right here. So this also makes a lot of sense to me. The purple is just the minecart tracks. What doesn't make any sense is the green. I genuinely have no idea what this does. I copy pasted it from the creative world that you guys saw earlier in this episode. And it really doesn't make a lot of sense. There's so much wiring in the middle here. There are a couple things that I want to point out because I missed them when I was doing this. And it sort of messed up my first few trial runs of this. First thing is these two hoppers right here. These hoppers are filled with whatever filter item I just realized I wrote filler instead of filter, whatever. You need to put unstackable items here, and then 64 of the filters, and then 18 and 4 of the filters. And this is because the minecart will sort of unload some of the filters sometimes, and you can see there's actually a filter right here, and yeah, this is just so it works. And I forgot that, and that actually misfunctions. And then the other thing is this fern. So you can see there's a fern down here. This is because the system's actually been activated, but it will reset itself. But if I look at the second one, yeah, there's a fern up here. And you need to place a fern in this hopper right here. This is sort of a dropper clock, I think. I don't know. I think this has a name, but I forget what the name is. And then the final thing that messed me up is this barrel right here that's filled with cakes. Now, first of all, the barrel's really hidden, so I actually hadn't placed it at first, and then I did, and I forgot to fill it. And you do need to fill it. This is sort of a comparative to make sure whether or not this is an unstackable item. And yeah. Okay, can I please activate my elytra? Okay, apparently I can't. And then, obviously, the unstackable items come up here, and then they're distributed into those hoppers right there. These hoppers right here are non-sortables, or stuff that isn't in the sorting system. There is none, but just in case. And then, of course, you have the modules. Now, you might notice that there's this little thing here, and at first I didn't really know what this was, but now this actually makes a lot of sense to me. So, okay. Let me take flight. So, let's assume that since you can only sort one item at a time, and by this I mean that minecart over there will only pick up one type of items, whenever you find the item, you don't need to do the whole roundabout and then reverse and come back. So what this does is, if it finds an item, one of these torches is gonna light up. And in my case, I actually had to extend the signal because this is more than 15 wide. But regardless, what this does is this turns that rail right over there to be pointing to that one. And that means the minecart is actually going to go up right here instead of going all the way around the system. And this is going to save a ton of time. And of course, you do this for every single one but the last, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. And yeah. Honestly, I'm really excited because this actually worked. But let's see. I want you guys to see this in action. Now, the only configured item that I have right now is stone. That's it. I don't have any other item, just stone. So if I put 64 stone in here, and we wait just a little bit, we should see the stone coming in. There you go. It's loading in, and we should see 64 stone come in here. It might take a second. Now, obviously this isn't the fastest sorter, but honestly, a sorter this big... Oh, right, it only does 31 at a time, I forget. Which is a really weird number, but I guess it makes sense. Because the minecart opens at a certain amount of time, so, you know. But point here is, like, this is not going to be the fastest sorter, but a sorter this big, like, even if I made a regular sorter, it would still not be fast. So there isn't much I can do about this. Something else is, you can see I can't even load the chests there. Although I think I know why that is. Like, if I just put this into 200, I can... Oh, no, I still can't. Okay, then I don't know. But yeah, eventually... There you go. 64 stone right here. Obviously, this needs configuring, and we're going to do that in another episode, because that's going to be a whole task unto itself. But I'm really happy. Now, there are a couple things. I want to install, and I'm going to do this off camera because it's a really easy thing to do. I want to install a trash system on this side. On this side, I really don't want to install anything. And then here, I want to install a shulker box unloader. So I want to be able to put loaded shulkers here and have it unload into the system. And there's actually a reason for this. Right now, shulker boxes are unstackable items. So what's going to happen is it's going to be placed into these chests right here, regardless if it has stuff or it doesn't. However, if I personally place a shulker box over there, it means I want it to unpack, store the items, and then store the shulker box separately. And there's obvious reasons for why I would want to do that. You know, I want free shulkers, and it's a good way for me to unload items. And currently all our items are in shulker boxes, which is also part of why I want this. But yeah. Again, I know this wasn't one of our usual episodes, because usually I make time lapses out of everything. But this was a really hard thing to do, like, substantially harder than I would have liked. Mostly because I didn't know the redstone system. This wasn't something I made. It wasn't something that is easy to make either, because sure, I don't know how to make, like, I don't know how to make some farms, but I understand the redstone behind the farms. Even complicated ones, like, I don't know, what's the most complicated redstone farm we've done? I actually don't know. What would be the most complicated redstone farm we've done so far? Because we've done a lot of big farms, but stuff like the villager farm doesn't actually have a lot of redstone, nor does the witch farm. Although, I guess it is probably the witch, the one with the most redstone, but, you know, potato, potato. Anyway, I usually understand what I'm doing, and in this case, I don't. I just sort of accepted it. I also took up this idea of, like, having colors everywhere, because I thought it would look nice, and it does look pretty cool. It also helps me to figure out, like, what circuit is what. So we have dark, or gray, I guess it's just gray, for the shortcuts. We have orange for the main sorter. We have magenta for the minecart tracks. Green for the, I guess, starter area. Pink to get the items from there to here. Light gray for just this elevator. And blue for that circuit up there that I still don't know what it does, but I kept it regardless. I genuinely have no idea what that does, but we move. Anyway, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That's all for today, folks. I'm out. Peace.